welcome
to the first episode of Doctor Who Time and Space of 2017.
It is, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So the first recorded one anyway, so...
It feels like the year has been going for quite some time, actually. It's weird, isn't it? It seems like quite a long time ago since New Year's Day now.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I mean, we're here today. This is Doctor Who Time and Space with me, Lewis Moon.
And me, Dr. Cool.
And we're here to give you some knowledge on Doctor Who news, entertain you with Doctor Who features, inform you with Doctor Who news, and have some little fun things in the little game shows at the end of the shows. But we're here, 52 shows hopefully of 2017. Which means we get to about 245 this year, I already worked out. So
Wowza.
We're going up to episode 245 by the end of the year.
Wow!
So, this year's quite special because we get into our 200s in terms of numbers.
Fantastic.
So it takes us about 2 years to get into those new sets of hundreds, but,
Okay, well, what have we got on this week's show then?
This week it's episode 193, and we are here in the first of four new features that should take us through every week of January, actually. So all four shows in January should be taken up by our 6-episode challenge through the decade. So today we're looking at our 6 favourite episodes from the 1960s. That should be good. We'll let you know more about that when we get to it.
We'll be giving our thoughts on the Matt Smith episode, The Bowels of St. John, the first one with Clara Oswald proper.
We shall be giving you some latest news and views from the Doctor Who universe.
We shall have a 3-minute rant, hopefully, if we've got time.
And we shall be pressing the magic randomizer button.
Randomizer.
I know, it's just...
You can't quite get it, can you? Randomizer.
No, it's not that I can't do that. It's just I was just doing something a bit different. We do that every episode.
Did you, what news have we... Can we kick off with the news first of all? Oh, we're going to talk a bit about what we've done.
Not 3 minutes into the show.
Okay.
Okay.
What have you been doing this week?
Well, thank you for asking. I've been, obviously not as much as last week because it was, the Christmas period, and obviously I had a lot to watch and do. I've been continuing with the nice Space Museum DVD.
Ooh.
It's quite interesting. I mean, it started off really promising, the Space Museum.
Yeah.
I've got one part left.
Yeah.
The first part is brilliant, as it's just like the 4 characters getting to figure out what's happening and, how they get inside these cases in a museum and why nobody can hear or see them.
Is it a Ian, Barbara and Susan one?
It's Ian, Barbara and Vicky.
And Vicky, right, okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. First part's really good, but parts 2 and 3 aren't as strong.
Okay. I'd imagine you'll probably, at some point or other over the next few months, probably dish out a video review of it anyway, won't you? Like you normally do.
Should do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anything else that you've been watching?
Well, I've been listening to my new audio.
Okay, what was that then?
And that was the Science of Time, Sirens. That was a Peter Davidson episode.
Okay,
the one I listened to.
Big Finish one, yeah?
Yeah, it's the multi-part one, remember?
Okay, yeah.
Where it's got Sylvester McCoy in the first part,
Peter
Davidson in the second, and Sylvester McCoy in the... Did I say Sylvester? No, Colin Baker in the third.
Okay.
And then they all meet up.
So you've listened to the first 2 parts so far then?
Yes.
How did the first 2 parts fit together? Did it feel like 2 separate stories, or does it feel like a sort of a single story?
they were single stories, but I can see they ended with cliffhangers, so I can
I
see how
see.
they'll all
Right.
link up with
Okay.
each other by the end.
That's quite a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that was their first main range release. So,
Okay. Anything else, or have you? You watched the first part of Strange Things, didn't you?
I did,
Sorry.
yeah. Stranger Things. That looks quite intriguing. I mean, it's
I've
Netflix.
still not seen that yet. But...
It's a Netflix original series. I'm starting to watch, and it looks quite interesting. I've still got 7 parts to go, but I've watched the first one, and I should be watching those on weekly slots, if
Yeah.
not 2 times a week.
Wasn't too scary then?
No.
Nothing scary in it?
No.
No? Okay. I don't really know too much about it. And, I thought it had a sort of old 70s style horror feel
Well,
about
it's
it.
80s.
80s, right, okay. Yeah.
It's very 80s.
Very 80s, okay.
Not in terms of quality, it's still good, but it feels very 80s.
Yeah, I know it's been quite highly rated and everything.
It has been, yeah. And the new series of Sherlock. You
Of
can
course,
see my
yeah.
review of that out on the Mistless Moon channel of the Six Thatchers. That looks quite promising in the new series. Quite a shocking opener to the 4th series of the show. But the one tomorrow is going to be quite intriguing. It's got Toby Jones in it, who played the Dream Lord. He's
right,
playing
yeah,
a villain named Culverton Smith, so that'll be a really intriguing episode.
So I'd imagine you'll probably, again, dish another video out on that at some point or other
In the week,
during
yeah.
the week. Okay. Myself, actually, I'm trying to think what I've watched. I've not really watched too much this week, actually. I think I watched another couple of my reruns of Game of Thrones. I think that's probably about it. So waiting really for another one of the Netflix superhero ones to drop. And
That's
waiting
in
for
March, isn't it?
Might be. I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up.
Or is it April?
And then obviously Walking Dead comes back in February. So yeah, having my Game of Thrones rerun, but I've not watched that much this week.
Are you watching like Iron Fist and stuff?
I will do when it comes out. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the one where they all meet up?
Yeah.
Yeah, when's that due out, do you know?
I don't actually know.
Oh.
No, but hopefully they'll keep up the quality of what they've had with the series so far, because they've been really good.
Yeah.
So on that basis, do we want to go straight into the news?
We shall do, yes. The return of Dr. Mysterio.
Again, he's back.
Yeah.
I thought he returned a few weeks ago.
He did, but 2 weeks ago we did this. Every week since then it seemed to have a few bits of Return of Dr. Mysterio news. This is the bit we've been waiting for a few weeks. Stats!
Oh, at last.
The
Feels like a long
yeah.
time ago since we watched it now.
Yes, it does. The final viewing figures and ratings have been revealed, and we've got the full list actually of all of the Christmas episodes in order of how they fared in ratings.
That's interesting. I mean, I do think before you go into that we need to take that with a bit of a pinch of salt, because I think over the duration of time, people's viewing habits have changed.
Yes, however, there is a bit of a shock in terms of that, and we'll
Ooh.
talk about that later on. The Doctor Who Christmas special, Return of Dr. Mysterio, had an official rating of 7.83 million viewers, according to data released by Barb. The rating is over 2 million higher than the initial overnight figure, and includes all those who recorded the programme and watched it within 7 days.
Okay.
So it's got a massive increase.
Yeah, definitely.
First viewing figures was about 5.68, I think.
Which I guess does explain what we were saying earlier on about people's viewing habits changing and things like that. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people are doing other things on Christmas Day, aren't they?
Yeah. So we've got about 2.2 million people more have watched it on Catch Up.
Yeah.
I can see why. This was the first year I watched it live.
Yeah.
You watched it on Catch Up
I
this
did,
year.
yeah. So I would be within that 2 million.
Yeah, I'm usually within that 2 million, but this year I got the opportunity to watch it live.
Yeah.
So, Doctor Who finished 9th for the week. Let's check out the leaderboard then. So, at number 10 was EastEnders on the Sunday the 25th of December. Number 9 was Doctor Who. Number 8 was... at number 6, 7 and 8 are all episodes of Coronation Street, because there are apparently 2 of them on Christmas Day.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, there weren't. It's just me reading things wrong. The Great Christmas Bake Off goes in at number 5. The Queen's Christmas Message at number 4. At number 3, Strictly Come Dancing Christmas Special. Number 2, Mrs. Brown's Boys Christmas Special. And at number 1, it was Call the Midwife Christmas Special.
Okay. Crumbs. I still can't get my head around the Mrs. Brown's Boys popularity.
I know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it topped the Called Midwife topped the list with 9.21 million watching. One dominated the top of the chart, meaning ITV only managed to get Coronation Street into the top 10. The annual Christmas Message from the Queen was shown simultaneously on BBC One, ITV and Sky One, giving it a total of 8.76 million. That's what gives it the advantage, really, is it's on 3 channels at once.
Yeah, no, that is true. Yeah.
So that sort of takes over most of the channels at 310. Against Doctor Who, Emmerdale had 6.21 million watching, while on Channel 4 the film Home Alone had 3.19 million. BBC Two was showing a repeat of the Morecambe and Wise show, which had 2 million watching, and on Sky One the Last Dragon Slayer had 0.72 million. I haven't watched that.
No, I would like to see that.
I would too.
I wonder if that's good for Sky, because I mean you'd always expect that the terrestrial channels would have a higher viewing figure, and I would imagine that probably one like that, particularly as its movie length, is more likely to be watched after the event.
However, why is Home Alone watched more?
No, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, but perhaps people were happy to have things like Home Alone on in the background because they've probably seen it before.
Maybe The Last Dragon. Maybe that's because it's a Christmas film, and The Last Dragon Slayer is sort of a more non-Christmassy film. So maybe they would watch it on.
Yeah, but I think there is an element of probably something like Home Alone. People are happy to comfort watch.
Yeah.
And just have on in the background.
I mean, I always watch Home Alone on Christmas Eve. It's a bit of a tradition.
Do you watch it? Do you sit down and literally watch it word for word, or do you do other things?
I do watch it word for word.
Yeah.
It's unusual for me to watch omnibuses of films, but I do watch loads of entertaining family Christmas films on Christmas Day.
Yeah, you're a very traditional lad, aren't you?
I am.
Things. Okay, anything else to say on that bit of news?
So, since the series has returned in 2005, there have been 12 Christmas Day episodes. The most successful one was the 2007 Christmas special, The Voyage of the Damned.
That's because there was people tuning in to look at Kylie's bottom.
Yes. And The Voyage of the Damned got 13.31 million viewers watching Kylie's bottom. At number 2 is The Next Doctor, which got a rating of 13.10 million viewers.
Okay.
Number 3, A Christmas Carol with 12.11 million.
Yeah.
The End of Time Part 1 comes in at number 4 with 12.04 million. At number 5, Time of the Doctor with 11.14 million. At number 6, The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe with 10.77 million. The Snowmen at number 7 with 9.87 million. The Christmas Invasion at number 8 with 9.84 million.
It surprises me that's as low as that.
Yeah, I know.
Anything that would have been David Tennant's first proper episode.
Yeah, it is weird.
It really surprises me it's not higher.
No, yeah.
I can understand why one like The Time of the Doctor's as high as it is, because you've got a regeneration in it.
And End of Time.
Yeah, that's right. But no, that really surprises me.
The Runaway Bride at number 9 with 9.35. million. At number 10, it's Last Christmas with 8.28 million. At number 11, The Return of Dr. Mysterio with 7.83 million. And at last place is The Husbands of River Song with 7.69 million. Now, this is very interesting.
Is it so? When you say those figures, are those figures the total viewings or those on the day viewing?
Total viewings.
The total viewings, okay.
These do not include iPlayer viewings.
They don't.
They do not include iPlayer viewings.
Okay.
According to this.
So
They
I would imagine that would
people-
change
yeah.
completely with iPlayer.
Yeah, it's L+7 things. Those who recorded the programme and watched within 7 days
Yeah.
is what this counts.
You see, to me I don't understand that stat really now, because I would have thought, and I may be completely wrong, because I've never read anything about this, so I'm just going off of what my beliefs would be. But my gut feel would be that probably more people watch things like that now on iPlayer than would watch it by videoing it.
Yeah,
Or
me
DVDing
too.
it
Well,
or
we don't know
whatever
what
people
that
do.
score is.
Yeah.
Yet, so
Right. Okay.
we'll find out in the next couple of weeks what the L+7 figures are, and those take into account all of the figures plus those who watched it on iPlayer.
Yeah. I bet you that shoots up then. I bet you the order of that will change.
To what?
I don't know how it will change, but I bet it will change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have anything else to comment on this particular item?
I don't believe so. No. Let me check what other news we have. Penguin have not launched a new competition which gives fans a chance to have their artwork featured in a new Doctor Who book. Doctor Who The Illustrated Adventures is due to be published by Puffin at the end of 2017. The publishers are looking for images to illustrate the 100 top favourite Doctor Who episodes as listed in the book. Don't know whether
cool.
that link works. Okay, yeah, they've got...
Does it do it by Doctor or does it do it by...
Yeah. It's by Doctor. They've got...
So if we look at Capaldi's, what have we got in Capaldi's?
We've got Deep Breath.
Yeah.
We've got Robot of Sherwood.
Really?
We've got Listen.
Yeah.
We've got Mummy on the Orient Express.
Uh-huh.
We've got Flatline. We've
Yeah.
got the Zygon Invasion version.
Yeah.
Face the Raven. Heaven Sent. Hellbent. Husbands of River Song. Return of Dr. Mysterio.
Okay. Some odd choices in there.
Any other Doctors?
Yeah, Troutman.
Power of the Daleks.
Yeah.
The Moon Base.
Yeah.
Evil of the Daleks. The Tomb of the Cybermen. The Ice Warriors. The Web of Fear. The Invasion. And the War Games.
Okay. And what about the First Doctor?
Um,
I'm intrigued because on the basis of the item that we've got coming up shortly about the 1960s Doctors.
Oh yeah. And then the Earthly Child, the Daleks, the Time Meddler, the Daleks Master Plan,
Mhm.
the War Machines, and the 10th Planet.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so and you probably put a link to this on the show notes, I'd imagine, wouldn't you?
I will, yes.
Get drawing, folks. Get drawing.
Yeah, the images have to be submitted using the template on the Penguin website, and the winners will be chosen by the Puffin design and illustration experts at the members of the BBC's Doctor Who brand team. These 25 winners will be chosen to appear at the book, but dependent on the number and quality of entries, as many as 100 images could be chosen. Winners who will be the entrants whose entries, in the opinion of the judges, depict or capture the chosen episode of Doctor Who most creatively and attractively. Each winner will receive 2 copies of the book.
Oh, fantastic. That's a brilliant idea. I love that.
It is a
Really, really
brilliant idea, yeah. So,
good. Is that all the book is? Is it just these pictures?
I don't know.
'Cause if
Maybe
it
it's
is-
got a bit of a description about the...
But you think about it, it's actually quite a clever ploy, really, because they get for free the whole book, as in the publisher. Whoever it is. Did you say it was Puffin? Was it you say?
Mm.
So Puffin people don't have to do anything other than put a cover together. Everyone sends in their drawings as a competition, and they pay them by giving them a free copy of the book, and then they rake in all the profits from the book. That sounds like a genius idea. I wish I thought of that.
It is genius.
I think we should come up with an idea where actually other people send us their segments for the podcast, and then we just sit back and don't do anything. What do you think?
Yeah. Lazy us. In the show notes at misslewsgreenadventures.weebly.com, you can see the full details on the list of top 100 Doctor Who episodes and the Penguin website. Also, you can see how to send us your podcast segments. So,
any other news?
Yes, this week was an anniversary actually
Oh.
for the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Well, I saw this earlier on. It amazed me, but I shan't sort of ruin your thunder.
Well, New Year's Day marked the 10th anniversary of the transmission of the first episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures. The Doctor Who spin-off starring the late Elizabeth Sladen made its debut on BBC One at 4:51 p.m. on New Year's Day 2007 with a special 60-minute special written by Russell T Davies and Gareth Roberts called Invasion of the Bane. Also starring Samantha Bond, Yasmin Page, Tommy Knight, Portia Lawrence Mather, and the voices of John Leeson and Alexander Armstrong. The episode led to a full series being commissioned, which was screened later that year. The Sarah Jane Adventures was run for 5 series, only ending after the death of star Elizabeth Sladen during the making of Series 5. To mark the anniversary, a special celebration video has been released on YouTube by The Attic, the group organising a reunion event for the series in Cardiff this summer. Guests will include Tommy Knight, Daniel Anthony, Yasmin Page, Anjali Mahindra, as well as Elizabeth Sladen's husband and daughter Brian and Sadie Miller. The day will be raising money for Ty Haffen, a children's hospice based in Cardiff. Full details on the Attic website, so you can find that in the show notes at misslewsgreenadventures.weebly.com.
Do we know what's going on in this activity then? This event?
No, but we know that the person who plays Luke will be there, the person who plays Clyde will be there, the person who plays Maria will be there, and the person who plays Rani will be there.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, as well as Elizabeth Sladen's husband and daughter.
Oh, yeah, right, nice. Okay. Do we have any further news?
I believe we do. 2 bits of Big Finish news.
Yeah.
Classic Doctor's New Monsters then.
Okay.
Paul McGann returns as the 8th Doctor in Doctor Who Classic Doctor's New Monsters Volume 2. And he's reunited with Jacqueline Pearce as Cardinal Elistra, a key character from the War Doctor Big Finish series. The story sees a return for the 8th Doctor's Time War era as he stumbles across a space station being used for nefarious purposes by his own people. Elistra is sponsoring research to weaponize some already lethal creatures, but the scientists have unwittingly used a colony of Vrastranada with an unfortunate history of humanoid contact. And this is the second Vrastranada story in the box set. You've got the first story in the box set starring Tom Baker fighting the Vrastranada. There's the first one called The Night of the Vrastranada. And then you've got The Day of the Vrastranada, which is the final one in the series.
Yeah.
Called The Day of the Vrastranada. So you've got them both linking in.
Okay, sounds good.
This also stars Jan Ravens, Tim Walkers, and Himish Patel. It is directed by Barnaby Edwards. The release date for Classic Doctor's New Monsters Volume 2 will be confirmed soon. The set can be pre-ordered either on its own for £20 on CD or download, or as part of the Doctor Who River Song, Churchill and New Doctors Bundle 2 for £60, containing 2 other Doctor Who News series releases.
Brilliant.
As we know, so far there's 2 stories with the Vrastranada where the 4th Doctor and 8th Doctor meet them, and the Rapnos will be in it with the fifth Doctor, Peter Davison.
Brilliant.
So,
Which of those do you think sounds the most exciting?
I'd like to see the Tom Baker for Astronauta.
Yeah, Vashta Narada. I mean, I've not seen the episode with them in, but they're just such a cool-looking villain.
And they're a cool idea for a villain as well.
Yeah. No, I must get round to watching that episode anyway. You know, the David Tennant one.
Yes.
Brilliant. Who's the companion in that one?
Donna, I'm
Oh.
afraid to say.
Bah.
I'm not afraid to say, but you're afraid to hear. So then, final bit of news, another Big Finish bit of news. The entire 12 days of Big Finish Mass.
Okay.
This Christmas, the Christmas and New Year period can be ridiculously frantic. There's travelling, there's telly, presents and people to help those who weren't around for all of the 12 days of Big Finish Mass. There's deals on all 12 offers available and new for the weekend. Until midday on Monday the 9th of January, we're reprising all 12 offers that they've been making available. Since Christmas Day, they kicked things off with the Diary of River Song Series 1 on download for £20 or in a bundle with Series 2 for £38. There are also £2.99 offers on all of the below. Tortured the Conspiracy, Dark Shadows Panic, Tom Baker at 80, Doctor Who the Fourth Doctor Adventures The Exilians, Pathfinder Legends The Mummy's Mask The Half-Dead City, Doctor Who Breaking Bubbles and Other Stories, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Torchwood Fall to Earth, Doctor Who The Early Adventures Domain of the Void, Blake 7 The Classic Adventures Battleground, and Doctor Who Mistfall. Any titles purchased can be downloaded and listened to within minutes if you're using the free Big Finish app on iOS or Android devices. These offers remain until midday on Monday the 9th of January, and that's when the 2017 to 19 pre-order bundle offers end too. And so if you're listening after that, the offers are no longer available. So you can buy all of the 11 releases above plus the for £2.99.
Brilliant.
So
Any of those interest you?
I've got Mistfall. Breaking Bubbles sounds good as well. You know, they all sound good. The Exilians sounds good.
You gonna get any more?
I'm not sure.
So, any further news?
No.
No? Not even that Ken Dodd has been knighted?
He has, yeah. Good old Kenny.
Right, in that case then, shall we zip on to our next item?
Yes.
Main feature.
And that is our 6-episode challenge, the 1960s special. As you may have guessed, we're back to normal this week, aren't we?
I'm not normal.
No, neither am I. But we're back to normal in terms of how the show is formatted. Over the last few weeks, we had a Christmas special. Then we had our Return of Doctor Mysterio review. Then we had our New Year's special. So we had a few messed up timetable weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back. And we've got a new series starting of features, which carries on from our 6-episode challenge, which is the 6-episode challenge through the decades. Today we're on the 1960s. Basically what we're doing, we've both of us, we've listed 6 of our favourite stories from the 60s, and we have to challenge each other on those, and then we have to come up with a ultimate 3 of our favourite stories.
Now, I think probably it's just worth stating as a starting point on this. I've not seen as many of these stories as you have.
No.
So my list may be a little bit more limited.
Yes.
Which will be interesting when we come to trying to agree on some, because I won't necessarily be able to comment on some of it, but we'll see how we get on with it, shall we?
However, we may do this again in a year's time to see when you've watched more William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton stories on the randomizer.
Yeah. Okay.
So, should I read mine?
Yes, go for your 6. Are they in any order? Or
No, they're not in any order.
Okay, so your 6 are...
The Invasion.
Yeah.
Tomb of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
The Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The Warmer Games.
Mm-hmm.
The Power of the Daleks.
Mm-hmm.
And The Edge of Destruction.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well mine are The Time Meddler,
Yeah.
Power of the Daleks,
Yeah.
Enemy of the World,
Oh, yeah.
War Games, Web of Fear, and The War Machines.
Okay.
So,
Can I comment here?
you can comment, yeah?
Enemy of the World is the one I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot to even put it on my backup list, but I will. I'm going to put it on my backup list for now.
So, well, I'm
Yeah.
going to start with that one then. Enemy of the World. Surely, whilst Edge of Destruction's quite a unique and different episode, I would have to say that Enemy of the World is better than it.
I'm going to agree with you there. It is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, funnily enough, I nearly had Edge of Destruction in mind,
Did you?
and then I crossed it off last minute and put
Okay.
something else there instead.
Okay, I'm going to, as an early choice,
Mhm.
put the Enemy of the World in the place of the Edge of Destruction.
Okay. So, let me just want to look at your list again a second. So, what do I... see, I think it's going to be difficult to shift any of your other ones. Do you want to just give a little bit of a rundown of those 6 that you've got there as to why they make your top 6?
The Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So epic. It's an 8-parter. Great Cyberman story. Tomb of the Cybermen, another classic, great, brilliant story. It's got some brilliantly classic moments in it.
Mhm.
And it's just so memorable and fantastically 60s. The Dalek Invasion of Earth comes in at 3rd because I just like it. It's got loads of London landmarks in it,
Mhm.
and it's great to set the scene. Daleks are back, you know. The Daleks at their best, I would say, in the 60s era, the 60s and 70s eras of Doctor Who.
Yep.
War Games, final Patrick Troughton story, another epic one, 10 parts, has so much space to do a great story, and it achieves that. Power of the Daleks, a recently animated story that I would say one of my favourite Dalek and Patrick Troughton stories, and it's a new contender in there, just as it's been animated.
Mhm.
A new contender into the top 6. It wouldn't have been in there before.
Yeah.
The Edge of Destruction would still be in there if that hadn't been animated. And the Enemy of the World, I love it. It's got the Second Doctor and Salamander. It's another epic one. I like the epic ones. I like the 6-parters to 10-parters.
Yeah.
I like the ones which are more than 4 parts.
Yeah. I'm trying to think now, is Enemy of the World, is that 6 parts, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Can't remember. I remember really liking it, but...
We watched it on the roundabout.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's not that long ago.
So
right.
we've watched it twice.
Okay, I mean, if I try to do a similar thing with my 6, as to why it is. The Time Meddler, I could understand that probably if most people were listing their top 6 items from the 1960s, the Time Meddler may be one of the ones that drops out, possibly.
However, the top episodes on that list from Penguin included
It did.
Time.
Yeah. I really like it. I like the feel. I like the Vikings stuff that's going on in the background. I really like. I've forgotten his name now. The guy from the Carry On films.
Meddling Monk.
Yeah.
Peter Butterworth.
Peter Butterworth. Yeah. I really like him as the meddling monk.
Yeah.
And
He is good.
you know, it's not got a particularly complex story or anything, but there's just something really likeable about it. And I really like the first Doctor in it. It's probably my favourite episode. A story that I've seen with the first Doctor for the first Doctor, if you see what I mean, for actually liking him.
Oh yeah.
Power of the Daleks, like you, recently reissued as a cartoon, and it's also I think probably, aside from Genesis of the Daleks, which is arguably not really a Dalek story anyway, but a Davros story, the best, well, certainly the second best if you include Genesis, but I can't think of any Daleks focused stories that are better than it. Enemy of the World is just great seeing Patrick Troughton is great anyway. 2 Patrick Troughtons, well,
One evil Patrick Troughton.
You can't beat that. And I really love the whole concept of this civilization that believes the world is destroyed, that are living underground, not knowing that actually they've been sort of hoodwinked all this time.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. War Games, it's an absolute epic story.
Yeah.
I love the whole mixing of the past, and then also it's a regeneration story, and we get to meet the Time Lords properly for the first time. Web of Fear, I love the setting of that. I love the fact that the majority of it's down in the London Underground.
Yeah, that is good.
Good unit adventure as well. And then finally the War Machines. It's just quite a different story actually. I really liked the sort of political feel of that, you know.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I was going to have the War Machines in my list until I remembered about Power of the Daleks. I completely forgot about that recently being out, and I remembered Power of the Daleks was out. So yeah, the War Machines was one that was almost in my list.
I think it's probably going to be difficult to shift too many more of yours. I'm going to throw 3 stories at you to see whether or not they will shift your opinion.
See if they're on my list.
And then if they don't shift your opinion, why they're not as good as the other ones.
Well, I've got 6 stories on here that I think have almost made my 60s list.
Okay. Well, if I throw 3 at you. An Unearthly Child.
Okay, that interestingly is on my list, but I must say it is also great. It is great. The first part is a brilliant setup. However, the second, third and fourth parts in the historical setting let it down for me. However, the first part is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think the first part is the best one. I also thought the fourth part, from memory, was really good as well.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't get in mine. It wouldn't get in mine.
No, it sort of ruins the first part and how the quality is set up. It's a brilliant setup to Doctor Who.
Yeah. The next one I'm going to mention is the 10th Planet, on the basis it's the first introduction of the Cybermen.
Last William Hartnell,
yeah. Regeneration story, first regeneration story ever.
It's not on my list. However, the only reason about that is I need to watch it again. I hope it comes up on the randomizer because I have only watched it once.
Yeah.
I cannot remember much about it. I cannot remember if it's good quality or not.
Yeah, it's partly animated, isn't it?
The fourth part is, sadly.
Yeah.
The last part in. But sadly didn't make it. But that's an unfair thing there because I just need to watch it again.
The final one I was going to throw at you was Seeds of Death.
I've actually got that on my list, and that was very close.
That's a nice Warrior one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I got that actually the other day.
Yeah. So the first Ice Warrior one, because we watched that on the randomizer, wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
No.
I don't think. I think I prefer Curse of Peladon actually.
Yeah, because that does something different with the Ice Warriors.
Yeah.
Seeds of Death, I love it. I absolutely love it.
I really like the Ice Warriors, but it's just not as good as I probably thought in my head it was going to be.
Although I like it less than the one that sounds exactly the same of it, the Seeds of Doom, with the Crinoids and the Seeds of Doom. Don't think you've seen that one, have you?
No.
Seeds of Doom is even better. That's the fourth Doctor one. That is absolute classic. That will probably get into my 70s list.
So
so good.
Looking at the top sixes then, the ones that we've both got, there's actually 3 of them by my reckoning, which is Power of the Daleks,
Enemy of the World.
Enemy of the World, and the War Games.
Yes.
Are we content that those are the 3 best episodes? Or would you be arguing that some of the ones that I've not seen are better than that?
I wouldn't say Enemy of the World would be in there to the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Say the War Games and the Power of the Daleks could be. I'm just unsure of what the other one would be.
Is Dalek Invasion of Earth better than Power of the Daleks?
No.
No? Okay. So that gives a good... Yeah, that gives a good run for Power of the Daleks being in the final 3, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm stuck between Tomb of the Cybermen and the Invasion. I can't choose.
do either of those oust either War Games or Power of the Daleks?
No.
No?
No, there's gonna be one of them in there.
So if we were going for a top 3, because I can't choose, so that choice is going to have to come down to you. So we're saying
good at making decisions.
So we're saying the Power of the Daleks and the War Games
Yeah.
are going to be 2 of them,
Yeah.
and then either Invasion or Tomb of the Cybermen. Now I'm sure you said to me that Tomb of the Cybermen you liked best out of the 2.
Yeah, but that would be if it was a top 4 list.
But if it's a top 3 list, then surely if one of those you like better than the other one, then that would be the one that gets through, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I lied there. I don't know which one I like the ones which have more than 4 parts, and the Invasion has more than 4 parts. However, Tomb of the Cybermen has so many classic scenes.
Yeah.
Can't
Well,
choose.
only you can choose, or it's going to have to go as a draw, and 4 get 3.
How do we do it randomly? Do we have?
I don't think we can. No, it's got to be. You've got to make a choice.
You've got to make it.
I'm going to go for Tomb of the Cybermen
Okay. Yeah.
on the basis that, regardless of what you're saying now, on a different day when you weren't being put under pressure, you said that was your favourite of the 2.
Yeah.
So we're going to go for then as our top 3: Tomb of the Cybermen, Power of the Daleks, and the War Games.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Interesting 3. Yeah.
Interesting.
Although
3.
I don't know whether the Invasion's as good as Tomb of the Cybermen. No,
Yeah.
I think Invasion. No.
We'll find out when it comes up on the randomizer.
We'll find out when it
won't
comes
we?
out on the randomizer, and I need your final judgment because I really cannot choose. I need the Invasion to come up today because I watched Tomb of the Cybermen after the Invasion.
Okay.
So-
So, out of the 3 of those, what do you think is the strongest? If we were going to say the best episode from the 1960s.
What's your favourite out of War Games and Power?
I might be being biased here because Power's only recently come out. But I was so impressed with
Me
Power
too,
of the Daleks.
yeah.
I think I might go for Power of the Daleks
Me
as
too.
being the best
1960s story.
1960s story
That's been released.
that's been released.
We haven't
yeah.
seen Dalek's Master Plan yet.
No, we've not seen ones like the first one with Jamie in or anything like that. Have we? There's quite a few.
That's not going to be the best episode.
I
ever,
don't
is
know.
it?
Was it Marco Polo? Might be.
Yeah, no, that might be.
Mhm.
But I don't think the Highlanders is going to be Power of the Daleks.
Okay. So, are we comfortable then that we're going to say that the best episode of the 1960s, ladies and gentlemen, was Power of the Daleks?
We are, yes.
Oh, excellent. We were talking about last week of having a competition this week to win a copy of Who Graphica.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should have as the question for anybody in the UK. It have to be the UK because of the postage. Anyone in the UK to enter to send to your Twitter account, okay, which
Okay.
is
Doctor Who Times drwho time as in n space.
Okay. If you send through to that address, what we said was the best 1960s episode,
Yeah.
and also to give us your own favourite episode. And anyone that gets the first bit right, as in names Power of the Daleks,
Yeah.
would be entered into a pot, and we will then select out an answer.
Should we say on Twitter that people
People will have to listen to it. Yeah,
we'll say on there. Yeah, listen.
we won't reveal on Twitter what has won, and we will say people to
Yeah.
to tell us. So to people to tweet to. Just repeat that Twitter address again.
At drwho time space. So please tweet to us. Power of the Daleks if you're listening now. Power of the Daleks.
And then also tell us what your own favourite episode of the 60s is.
And you could win the brilliant Who Graphica. It is brilliant.
And what we'll do once we get once we got some in, we'll randomly pick one, and we will tweet that person back for their contact details to get that item out to them. But it will be limited to the UK, I'm afraid, folks.
If no one buys the Green Death, then we could do that as well.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think
yeah.
someone might buy that. So
Excellent. That's that done. Shall we move on to the next item,
yes,
which is?
our review of the 11th Doctor story, The Bells of St. John. So, it is. So, it is time for our review section of the podcast. Last week, the randomizer picked out a story for us, which was an 11th Doctor story, a Matt Smith story. And it was actually the first story to star Clara in it. And that's The Bells of St. John. Deacle, can you supply us with a little bit of a synopsis before we go into our general opinions of the episode?
I certainly can. I mean, this one kicks off with quite an interesting pre-title sequence where we've got a guy on a computer screen, and it turns out that the people are being not sort of fully uploaded, but their souls are being uploaded via Wi-Fi into the internet when they log on to this certain Wi-Fi network. And you've basically got all these hundreds of faces on these screens all saying, I don't know where I am.
I don't know where I
I don't know where I am.
Don't know where I am.
We then, the first time we meet the Doctor in what was the first... No, so this was the first part of the second part, wasn't it? The first episode of the second part of Series 7.
Yes.
Because Series 7 was split into two.
The Clara and Amy series.
Yeah, so we've recently lost Amy.
Yeah.
The Doctor's coming in on the back of seeing the first Clara dying in the Snowmen.
Well, in the Asylum with the Daleks, and then the then the Victorian Clara.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And he's retreated to a monastery back in the year 1207 to try and sort of fathom out a little bit about who this Clara Oswin Oswald is. He gets disturbed by the monks who tell him that the bells of St. John are ringing, and he sort of heads off as fast as he can to the TARDIS, and the phone's ringing. When he answers the phone, we get Clara on the other end of the line, trying to sort of solve her internet problems, and she's been given the TARDIS's number by a woman in the shop.
Who we are later revealed to as, spoiler alert, Missy.
Yeah, that's it. But we don't find that out in this episode, do we?
No, we don't. Because Missy isn't created.
The Doctor then works out the link between this Clara and the other Claras when she uses, as a sort of mnemonic to remember her password, she says, "Run, you clever boy, and remember." He then sets off to meet her. When he arrives, Clara's obviously a bit sort of phased by this weirdo in a monk's costume turning up on the door. So he goes and changes into his more familiar Matt Smith type costume. The Doctor then returns and he finds that Clara is actually being uploaded onto the internet via this sort of spoon-headed robot creature that's mimicked the picture of the young girl that was on the cover of a book in the house, which just so happened to be
Amelia Pond.
Yeah.
Williams.
Yes. So the Doctor manages to halt the upload, and that's probably about enough for me to really talk about. But basically, the Doctor tries to work out what's going on with these various souls being uploaded, and him and Clara set off to try and find the centre where all this uploading is happening, and discover what's going on behind it all, really.
Yeah.
So that's a very brief synopsis. What do you think of it?
This is a very entertaining and enjoyable opening episode to Clara's run and the new series. I mean, this is the introduction to Clara. It's got an interesting and rather complex story, or how they get into it or out of it is relatively complex. You know, it's got a lot in it, a lot of elements in it, a great introduction, some very funny lines. It's just a very entertaining episode that's quite rewatchable, and I really enjoyed it.
It's only the second time I'd seen this one.
Yeah.
So I watched it when it was out, or probably watched it on iPlayer, I'd imagine. But it was, yeah, I hadn't seen it since then. And it's funny because I remember enjoying it when it was on. I remember really enjoying it when it was on. But then if you'd have said to me a couple of weeks ago, Bowser St. John, where do you reckon that's ranked in your list of Doctor Who episodes? I probably had it quite low down, because I couldn't really remember that much about what happened. But rewatching it today, it's not the most memorable episode.
No,
It's not a classic.
I mean, it's quite a pivotal one.
It is insofar as it introduces Clara to it, and
The proper Clara.
Yeah. But it's just good fun, really.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I really liked how they introduced Clara into it properly. I think that some of the best parts of this episode is that opening scene. You know, all the stuff going on the phone. There's a classic moment when the Doctor, when she asks the Doctor what time it is or something like that, and he says it's 12:07 or something like that. And she sort of says, no, it's not. It's 12:53, or you know, I can't remember the exact numbers, but you've got that sort of difference between the time of the day and the year time.
Yeah.
And there's some great little touches like that. And then when the Doctor and Clara actually meet up, and he's trying to protect her, and he tries to get her to go into the TARDIS, and she's immediately thinking he's just on the pull. You know, you see some weirdo that's trying to pull him into some little box of his wicked way there or something. So it's there's lots of really entertaining bits like that in it, and I think the first third of the episode is stronger than the second 2/3.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say the second 2/3 are bad, but it's
they're stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emphasise
the
I'll come back to this in a minute when we talk about the too good, too bad.
Yeah.
But if I've got anything about this episode that I'm not so keen on, is that I think the whole there's a big sequence when the Doctor's travelling around on a motorbike, which is great, and it's quite exciting, isn't it? It's really, really good. But Clara asks him why he isn't using the TARDIS, and he makes some comment about not wanting to take if the TARDIS is your best weapon, you don't want to take it into the enemy's zone or whatever. And I thought that's just a bit of a weak excuse to give the Doctor the opportunity to ride around loads of London hotspots on a motorbike, because we see the TARDIS turning up in all sorts of places, you know, and so he's never really had that concern before, and I'm not quite sure why he had it then.
And I think that's our only bad.
Maybe. Well, we'll come on to a too good, too bad in a second. But I mean that is a minor grumble. I can see why they do it, and it makes a good TV. But the excuse for it is a little bit weak. Well, should we do the too good, too bad?
Yeah,
now,
okay.
Whilst we're talking about it. Too good, too bad. What do you think a too good bit? Or one good bit, and I'll come up with the other one.
Seeing the sort of chemistry between Doctor and Clara grow in this story when they first meet.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that Capaldi is probably better with Clara.
Yeah.
However, Matt Smith still is quite good with her.
Yeah. My good would be probably something quite similar to that, but it would just be not so much how their relationship grows, but I just think the whole introduction of Clara into the story
Yes.
was really, really, really strong. So my good would be that.
Too
bad.
A bad. This is a stupid bad, but it's a bit throwaway.
What, the episode?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. My bad will be the one that I commented on earlier on, which is that it felt a little bit silly that he had to go on the motorbike, albeit that it got used to great effect when the bike's driving up the side of the shard.
Yeah.
It's not only the whole thing with the motorbike, it's a sort of very similar sort of thing there. And there's times probably where this is the case to a lot of New Who. It feels like they often force famous landmarks into the scenes.
We should have talked about this on our odd location feature last year.
Yeah.
We didn't think of it.
But there's a moment when they're sat up in this cafe, looking out. There's Clara and the Doctor looking out over London, and whenever it shows the Doctor, you've got St Paul's Cathedral in the background.
Yeah.
And whenever you see Clara, you've got the Shard in the background, and it just feels like, hey, look, we're in London. We must be in London because this, and this. And I think that's probably for the benefit of the wider viewership from around the world.
Yeah.
And it it's not. It doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
And in fact, there's something quite nice about seeing famous landmarks.
Yeah,
we like walking around London, finding places from Who episodes anyway, don't we?
It gives us something else to do.
Yeah. Plus, we'll have to go to that cafe now. Let's find that cafe and sit and look out, and then we can do a video, a live behind the sofa, where when you're talking, you've got St Paul's Cathedral behind you, and when I'm talking, I've got the Shard behind me.
Yeah.
It introduces or reintroduces us to another returning classic villain.
Yes, and there's the Great Intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, a very small role
Yeah.
in this particular episode, wasn't it?
However, we do see the Great Intelligence in the Snowman.
Yeah.
But this is the story after the Snowman, obviously.
Yeah.
This series is all the lead up to Name the Doctor, with the stuff with the Great Intelligence, and the stuff with Clara, all sorts of things.
So it's a bit like London, a bit like London buses, really, isn't it?
What do you mean?
You wait 47 years for the Great Intelligence to return, and then he returns 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a lot better than I remembered it being. It's actually probably I always think of season 7 as not being one of the strongest seasons from sort of New Who. In that there's a few more throwaway ones.
There are.
But
there are a few good ones in there though.
And this was the series, wasn't it, where they were trying to go for the lots of films type feel, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they actually definitely do that.
They do, yeah.
I mean, it's very fast.
And it's one part episodes after one part episodes.
Yeah. There's a great moment, isn't there, when where the first time when Clara gets out of the TARDIS. I mean, she's amazed enough by the fact that she's walked into this room that's bigger on the inside than it is the outside. But then when she then walks out the door, they're in this plane. They have to they're sort of rushing down this plane where everybody's been sort of zeroed out via the wireless, and immediately the Doctor's trying to sort of fly a plane and everything. And it's a real, whoa, where the hell am I? What's going on here sort of moment.
I don't know where I am. Scores,
okay.
Scores on the doors. Monsters, villains.
Okay, who do we class here? I'm not going to class the Great Intelligence just because it's such a minimal part. I'm going to go for Mrs. Kislet, yeah. I like the concept. Weirdly, with this one, if I was reading the synopsis for this episode and was reading about creatures that beam you up into the Wi-Fi, I'd think it was a little bit silly.
Yeah.
But actually, it works really, really well. There's a little bit too much talk about Twitter and Facebook and things like that for my liking. But I'm sorry, I digress. Villains. I'm going to count the spoon monsters and the woman boss. I'm going to give them a 7. I think.
Character development.
Really interesting development with Clara and the Doctor. I think I will give it an 8 for that.
7 and okay. Pace.
Very strong pace. I think it
Okay.
works through at quite a strong, quite a swift pace. Gets a lot done without feeling too rushed. I'll give it an 8 for that.
Excitement.
Very exciting. One of the most exciting episodes, actually. I mean, it's trying to be an exciting episode. I'll give it an 8 for that as well.
And story.
Story isn't the key part of this one. I think I'll probably give it a 7 for story.
38 out of 50.
Okay.
Overall scores, you can give
Overall
points
score. I'm trying to not be quite so sort of rose-tinted glasses, spectacles about it all. That's what I have been for. So I'm going to be a bit harsher. I'm going to say probably about 7.5.
Okay. You call that a bit harsher. I'm going to agree.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we have it, folks. Definitely an enjoyable episode to watch.
It is. Do we have time for 3-minute rant or not?
What time is it? Probably not, really, no.
Okay, we'll just talk about this. Yeah, an enjoyable story.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very enjoyable. And definitely, I mean, if you were going to recommend to people a Matt Smith episode to watch, it wouldn't be a bad one to do, actually, because it's quite a good introduction to the characters, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
People will probably be a little bit baffled by the whole why is he in the monastery sort of bit of it. But aside from that, once the main story kicks in, it's very standalone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Good. On that basis then, is it time for us to press the magic randomizer?
What story do we have today behind the cars?
Sorry. Do you want to explain the magic randomizer? Preferably in a normal way. Would you like to explain the magic randomizer?
Well, the magic randomizer, basically, what it is, we've got every episode of Doctor Who in a Excel spreadsheet, and what we've got a little macro. We press it and it tells us what Doctor Who episode we'll be watching and reviewing next week and for next week's show. Should we press it?
Load up the magic randomizer then. So, what will we be getting? Will we be getting a new Who? Will we be getting a classic Who? Let's press that button now. Wow, that's quite a coincidence.
That's
actually, isn't
very
it?
coincidental.
So, next up we have
directly after story of Bells of St. John, The Rings of Akatan. People would think we're fixing this to put it in a row, but we can't do because we've already watched Cold War, which makes sense because we can do our Sherlock review on Wednesday.
Yes, that's right.
This, from our memories, isn't that strong of a story.
It's got good moments. The trailer looks really good for Rings of Akatan.
It does, but it isn't.
The episode's weaker.
It's not like a terrible one, but it's not a classic or not very good. It just has a good song at the end.
It's, from memory, and we're probably going to talk about this no doubt more next week, but from memory it's got that sort of second episode in the series sort of feel about it.
Yeah.
And albeit that it's second part of the series, but it's got that sort of second story for a companion. Reminds me in many ways of the second one with Rose.
Yeah. I bet that's what it's going to be like with the second story with Bill as well.
Probably, yeah.
We went a whole show without mentioning Bill until the end.
Crumbs. There we have it.
So,
that's probably wraps things up for this week, does it not?
Yes, it does.
In terms of people contacting us, and what sort of things do we want to hear about, and how can people get hold of us?
You can get hold of us at drwhotime_, where you could tell us your competition entries. Should we repeat what?
Yeah, let's just repeat the competition entry.
So the competition it will say, please reply or retweet with a message.
No, it shouldn't be a retweet. It should be a direct message. Definitely
Okay,
a direct
yeah.
message, otherwise people will see what the answer is.
Oh yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Direct message. Direct. And that answer will be what was our favourite episode from the 1960s? And the answer was Power of the Daleks. So you can contact us at drwhotime_. Let us tell you what's up next time.
Yeah, I'd see. I mean, as well as telling us that answer of Power of the Daleks, it'd also be cool if people tell us what their own favourite 1960s episode was.
And what you thought of Bells of St John.
And we'll throw it into a pot and we'll pick out a name and announce it next week for a nice brand new, never read before copy of the Who Graphica.
Miss Lewis Mean Adventures.weebly.com you can also go to, which is the website. YouTube, Miss Lewis Mean, and Podomatic at Doctor Who Time and Space, and you can type that in on iTunes as well. Next week.
There's also, sorry, I keep introducing. We'll get on to next time in a minute, but also it'd be lovely to hear what people think of Rings of Vakatan. It'd be great to hear what people think.
No, we need to do the next time first.
Can you do that first, though?
Yeah, because otherwise you're spoiling everything that comes in the next time.
Okay, well let's do next time first then.
It's episode 194 next week, and we are looking at our top 6 episodes from the 1970s. So that's our John Pertwee and Tom Baker lists.
Excellent. We will be talking about the Rings of Vakatan.
We will be discussing the latest news.
We'll be pressing the magic randomizer.
And we will maybe be playing the 3-minute rant.
But probably
depending on
not.
the news.
But probably not, because we never seem to have time.
No.
Thanks very much for listening. If people want to contact us, we'd love to hear. We told you the contact details earlier on, and it's always available via the website anyway. But let us know what you think of Rings of Vakatan. Let us know what you think of Bells of St John. Let us know what your favourite episodes of the 1970s are.
And we'll let you know what they are next week.
Yeah.
What happens if no one enters this week? Do we do another one?
We'll do it again next week.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you.
I've been Dr. Cool.
I've been Lewis Moon. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time, same time.
Same space.
Thank you. Goodbye.